She cut my internet cable with gardening shears. Sandra Whitmore, HOA President, blonde bob perfect, pink blazer immaculate, just destroyed my livelihood. I lost $50,000 that day. Then the fines started. 500 for wrong mailbox color. 300 for trash cans visible 8 minutes too long. 200 for a summer wreath. Every day, new violations, new fines. She was systematically bankrupting me. That's her business model: destroy families, force them to sell. Her husband buys cheap, flips for massive profit. Over $1 million made, ruining lives. 11 families before me. I was next on her list. But she made one critical mistake. I'm a software developer with inheritance money, technical skills, and absolutely nothing left to lose. I bought the internet company that services her house. What happened next made national news and destroyed her completely. Watch until the end because this revenge is chef's kiss perfect. Comment where you're watching from. HOA nightmares are everywhere, and I need to know how far this reaches. I'm standing in my home office watching my entire career evaporate in real time. 3 years of coding. Custom software architecture for a medical diagnostics firm. Everything stored on cloud servers because that's what professionals do in 2024. Secure, accessible, safe. The screen flickers, goes black, my heart stops. I check the router, all lights dead, not blinking, not searching, dead. I'm on my feet, pulse hammering in my ears, running through the house to the back door. Something's wrong, something's very wrong. I burst outside and freeze. There she is, Sandra Whitmore, HOA President, mid-50s. Blonde bob catching the afternoon sun. Pink blazer buttoned to her throat despite the Ohio heat. She's holding gardening shears. My internet cable is on the ground between us. Severed clean, the rubber coating still fresh on the blades. Our eyes meet, she smiles. That smile will haunt me for months. Outdoor cables violate Section 7.3 of the Riverside Meadows Covenant, she says. Her voice is pleasant, conversational, like she's discussing the weather. Aesthetic standards, you should have buried it underground. My brain can't process what I'm seeing. You cut my internet cable. I enforced community standards, Mr. Morrison. She's already turning away, heels clicking on my driveway pavement. Next time, read the bylaws before you move in. Let me back up. I'm Jake Morrison, 34 years old, software developer, moved to Riverside Meadows 3 months ago after the divorce finalized. This was supposed to be my fresh start. Quiet suburb outside Columbus. Good schools for when my daughter Emma visits on weekends, affordable mortgage, the American dream, right, wrong. Sandra Whitmore runs this neighborhood like a feudal kingdom. Every blade of grass, every paint color, every visible inch of property is subject to her approval, her judgment, her control. I learned that the hard way. Now I'm staring at my severed cable and my phone is buzzing in my pocket. It's my client, the medical diagnostics firm. Jake, we need to move the presentation up. Can you join the call in 1 hour instead of 6? The board's schedule changed. 1 hour, $50,000 contract. Everything I need to present is locked behind cloud authentication I can't access without internet. My hands are shaking. There's a technical issue. Can we possibly? 1 hour, Jake. This is time sensitive. We have other developers we're considering. The call ends. I'm sprinting to my neighbor's house, pounding on the door, no answer. The next house, nothing. Third house. An elderly woman cracks the door 2 inches, sees my face and shakes her head. I'm sorry, dear, I can't get involved. The door closes. I look across the street. Sandra's standing in her front window, arms crossed, still smiling. She knew about my presentation. She knew exactly what she was doing. I call the cable company. Emergency service request. Underground installation in your area requires HOA approval and permitting, the dispatcher says. Earliest we can schedule is 2 weeks out. Cost estimate is $3,000. 2 weeks, $3,000. I hang up and call my client back. I need to reschedule. Family emergency. Jake, we're moving forward with another vendor. Thank you for your time. $50,000 gone just like that. I'm sitting on my front steps, head in my hands, when Sandra walks past with her clipboard. She doesn't say anything, doesn't need to. The click of her heels on the sidewalk says everything. I look up at her retreating figure, pink blazer perfect, blonde hair immaculate, clipboard tucked under her arm like a weapon. That's when something shifts inside me. Not rage, not yet, something colder. I pull out my phone and start researching. HOA laws, property rights, telecommunications regulations. Because if Sandra Whitmore thinks this is over, she has no idea who she just went to war with. This isn't about a cable anymore. This is about power, and I'm about to take all of hers. The $50,000 contract is gone. 3 years of relationship building with that client vanished because Sandra Whitmore decided to play God with a pair of gardening shears. I don't sleep that night. By morning, I've made a decision. I file a police report. Destruction of property. The officer who takes my statement is sympathetic but useless. Ma'am owns the property rights under HOA covenant, sir. This is a civil matter. She cut my internet cable. on HOA-controlled land. You signed an agreement when you bought the house. I didn't read that agreement. Nobody reads those things. 700 pages of legal jargon that basically says, Sandra Whitmore owns your soul. I contact 3 attorneys. The first laughs, the second quotes me $30,000 minimum, the third is honest. Sue the HOA, they're incorporated, insured, you signed the covenant, you'll spend everything you have and probably lose. My advice. Sell the house and move. I get the cable buried, underground installation. Cost me $4,000 because Sandra demands I use her approved contractor. Turns out it's her nephew who charges triple the market rate. But I need internet, I need to work, I pay. 2 weeks pass, I'm rebuilding, landing smaller contracts. Stabilizing, then the letter arrives. HOA violation notice. Official letterhead, Sandra's signature at the bottom. Your mailbox color, classic black, violates section 4.2 of aesthetic standards. Required color, heritage bronze, fine $500. Correction deadline 7 days. $500 for a mailbox I repainted. Heritage bronze, looks identical to the black. Cost me $60 and an afternoon. 3 days later, another letter. Trash receptacles were visible from street for approximately 8 minutes past 7 a.m. Collection deadline on Thursday, November 14th. Violation of section 8.1. Fine $300. 8 minutes, she timed it. I pay. Another letter arrives the next week. Front door decorative wreath summer floral theme is seasonally inappropriate for November. Section 5.4 permits only autumn or winter themes post October 31st. Fine $200. I take down the wreath. My daughter made it for me last summer. I put it in the garage and stare at it for 10 minutes. The fines keep coming, every 3 to 4 days. A new violation, a new extraction of money. December brings 5 more letters. My house number font is non-compliant. My porch light wattage exceeds standards. My garden hose was visible from the street. My chimney mortar needs repointing. Estimated cost $7,000. Violation fine $1,000. I'm hemorrhaging money. $1,500 in fines. Another $1,000 in forced corrections. My neighbors avoid eye contact when I check the mail. They all know what's happening, but nobody helps. One evening, an elderly woman named Mrs. Patterson stops me at the community mailbox. She looks around nervously before speaking. My son lived here 4 years ago, she whispers. Sandra did this to him, fined him every week. Bankrupted him, he had to sell, lost $40,000 on the house sale because he was desperate to leave. Why doesn't anyone stop her? Because she destroys anyone who tries, and her husband, she trails off. Glances toward Sandra's house. Just be careful, dear, I'm praying for you. She walks away quickly. That night I can't sleep again. I start digging, public records, property transactions, HOA financial statements. What I find makes my blood run cold. Richard Whitmore, Sandra's husband, owns an LLC called Whitmore Property Solutions. Over the last 6 years, they've purchased 11 homes in Riverside Meadows. All of them foreclosures or desperate sales. Average purchase price 40% below market value. Average flip profit after renovation $90,000. Total profit over $1 million. They're running a racket. Sandra drives homeowners into debt with bogus fines. Families can't afford to fight back, can't afford the legal fees, they sell at a loss. Richard buys cheap through his LLC, they renovate and flip for massive profit. It's systematic. Calculated, evil. I'm sitting at my desk at 3 in the morning staring at spreadsheets and property records when I remember something. My college roommate, Marcus Webb. We studied computer science together at Ohio State. He works in telecommunications now, regional manager for Broadlink Communications, the only internet service provider in Riverside Meadows. I pick up my phone and send a text. Marcus, need to talk. Urgent? He responds in 2 minutes. Call me. When I explain everything, the cable cutting, the fines, the systematic destruction, he goes quiet. Then, Jake, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but Sandra Whitmore calls our office every single week, demanding we enforce aesthetic standards, threatening to breach the monopoly contract if we don't comply. She's been a nightmare for 2 years. Something clicks in my brain. Tell me about that contract. Marcus sends me files. Public records, FCC filings. The monopoly contract between Broadlink Communications and Riverside Meadows HOA. I spend the next 48 hours reading every word. The contract is predatory, exploitative, brilliant in its corruption. Broadlink has exclusive service rights to Riverside Meadows. No competing ISPs allowed. In exchange, the HOA receives an annual consulting fee of $20,000 for doing absolutely nothing, just maintaining the monopoly. Guess who receives that consulting fee as HOA President Sandra Whitmore? $20,000 a year for 4 years. $80,000 in her pocket for keeping residents trapped with overpriced internet. And the rates? Residents of Riverside Meadows pay 40% above market average. $120 per month for service that costs $80 everywhere else. 400 homes in this neighborhood. That's an extra $19,000 per month in pure profit, over $200,000 per year. All funneled through a corrupt contract Sandra negotiated. I keep digging. Richard Whitmore's LLC, Whitmore Property Solutions, the property purchases aren't random. Every single home they bought had massive accumulated HOA fines before the sale. The Martinez family, $8,000 in fines over 6 months, sold their home for $60,000 less than market value. The Garcia family, $12,000 in fines, foreclosed. Richard bought it at auction. The Patterson son, $9,000 in fines, desperate sale, $40,000 loss. 11 families total, over $300,000 in fines collected by the HOA. Every single property acquired by Richard's LLC at distressed prices. Average flip profit, $90,000 per house. They've made over $1 million destroying families, and nobody stopped them because HOAs are legal. Incorporated, protected. I'm staring at my computer screen, hands shaking with rage when Marcus calls. Did you read the files? Every word. Jake, there's something else. Broadlink is struggling. Rural internet expansion through government subsidies killed our profit margins. Our stock price is tanking. Corporate is looking for buyers. My heart rate spikes. Buyers, investors. Maybe even a complete buyout of regional operations. They're desperate. The quarterly earnings call last month was a bloodbath. I'm doing math in my head fast. What's the valuation for Riverside operations? Maybe 1.8 million, but nobody's biting. Bad investment on paper. What if it wasn't a bad investment? What if someone bought it to restructure, community-focused, lower rates, better service? Marcus laughs. That'd be amazing. But who has that kind of money and wants to run an ISP for altruistic reasons? I'm quiet for a long moment. How much would I need for controlling interest? The line goes silent. Jake. What are you thinking? How much? Minimum $2 million. You'd need investors, partners, and you'd have to convince corporate you're serious. $2 million. I inherited money when my grandfather died last year. $200,000 sitting in a college fund for Emma. I have retirement savings, equity in the house. I could take a second mortgage, but it's not enough, not even close. Marcus, if I could put together the money. Would you help me? Another long silence. Help you buy the ISP that services Sandra Whitmore's neighborhood so you can. What exactly? Become her internet provider. He laughs, then stops. Wait. You're serious? Completely? Jake, this is insane. She cut my cable, cost me $50,000. She's systematically bankrupting me with bogus fines. She's done this to 11 other families. Made over $1 million destroying lives. Someone needs to stop her. By buying an internet company, by becoming the thing she needs most and then taking it away. Marcus is quiet for 30 seconds then. I know 3 investors who hate monopolistic, people with money who'd love to disrupt this model. If you're really doing this, I'll make calls. I'm standing now, pacing my office. Make the calls, Jake. If this fails, you'll lose everything. I've already lost everything that matters, now I'm taking hers. The line clicks off. I'm committed now, all in. I look out my window. Sandra's house across the street, lights on. Pink curtains drawn. She has no idea what's coming. I liquidate everything. My grandfather's inheritance. The $200,000 earmarked for Emma's college fund, I'll rebuild it, somehow, later, my retirement account. $47,000 after penalties and taxes. Gone, the equity in my house. I take a second mortgage. Another $130,000. I'm selling furniture, my car, everything that isn't nailed down. My ex-wife calls when she hears. Her voice is sharp with judgment. You're gambling Emma's college fund on what? Revenge against your HOA? It's not revenge, it's justice. It's insane, Jake. You're going to lose everything. She hangs up. Emma calls that night. She's 12. Too smart for her age. Dad, are we poor now? My chest tightens. No, sweetie, Dad's just making an investment, a business decision. Mom says you're doing something stupid. Your mom worries I'll be fine, we'll be fine. I'm lying. I don't know if we'll be fine. I'm betting everything I have on a plan that could destroy me, but I can't stop now. Marcus connects me with 3 investors, people who have been burned by monopolistic, people with money and grudges. First is David Reese. Tech entrepreneur, sold his startup for $8 million, lost his parents' home to an HOA foreclosure 10 years ago. He's in for $400,000. Second is Jennifer Park. Telecommunications consultant. Spent 5 years fighting Comcast monopolies in rural Oregon. She's in for $300,000. Third is Thomas Brennan, retired attorney, specializes in consumer protection. His daughter was bankrupted by predatory HOA enforcement in Arizona. He's in for $500,000. Combined with my $377,000, we have $1.57 million. Not enough. I max out every credit card, personal loans. I call in every favor, every connection. By late September, we have $2.1 million. Marcus sets up the meeting with Broadlink Corporate. We fly to their headquarters in Pittsburgh. Conference room on the 14th floor. 6 executives across the table. They look tired, desperate. I present our proposal, community-focused internet, lower prices. Higher customer satisfaction. We'll restructure the Riverside operations, expand to adjacent neighborhoods, prove the model works. They're skeptical, but their stock price is dying. Shareholders are furious. They need a win, any win. The lead executive, gray-haired woman named Patricia Simmons, leans forward. You understand you're buying a failing regional operation with negative growth projections. I understand I'm buying the infrastructure and customer base. What we do with it is our business. She studies me for a long moment. Why Riverside specifically? Because monopolies are killing consumer trust. We're going to prove you can be profitable and ethical. It's not entirely a lie. But it's not the whole truth either. October 15th. The deal closes, $2.1 million. I own 40% controlling interest in Broadlink Riverside operations. I'm now Sandra Whitmore's internet service provider. She doesn't know yet, we keep it quiet during the transition. Paperwork, regulatory filings, infrastructure audits. I spend 6 weeks studying every line of the service contracts, the HOA agreement, the legal framework. I bring in the best attorney I can afford, Angela Reeves. She specializes in HOA litigation and telecommunications law, reputation for destroying corrupt boards. She reads Sandra's contract and actually smiles. This woman has no idea what's about to hit her. We plan carefully, methodically, every move calculated. Meanwhile, Sandra escalates another violation letter. My lawn height exceeds regulation by 1/4 inch. $800 fine. I measure it myself. She's lying. It's within standards, but I pay anyway. Another letter. My car was parked incorrectly in my own driveway. Front wheel 6 inches over an invisible compliance line she drew on a property survey. $500. I pay, smile, wave at her when she drives past. She thinks she's winning. November 3rd, we make the announcement. Press release, local news coverage. Broadlink Riverside under new ownership, Community First Internet Initiative launches. My name is in the article, owner, chief operator. I'm standing at my front window when Sandra sees it. I watch her read the news on her phone, watch her face change. Watch her stand up from her kitchen table. 30 seconds later, her Lexus screeches into my driveway. This is it. Sandra's out of the car before it fully stops. The door slams hard enough to echo down the street. Pink blazer, blonde bob wild, face flushed red. She doesn't walk to my door, she storms. The pounding on my door sounds like she's trying to break through it. 3 heavy hits, then 4 more. I wait 5 seconds, let her knock again, then I open it slowly. Sandra, how can I help you? Her voice comes out strangled, shaking with barely controlled rage. You bought the internet company, you. I lean against the doorframe, calm, collected, everything. She's not right now. Yep, closed the deal last month. Surprised you didn't see the trade publications. It was in all the telecommunications journals. She shoves her phone at my face. The news article is pulled up. This is a conflict of interest. You can't own the ISP and live in an HOA community that has an exclusive contract with... Actually, I interrupt, keeping my voice level. I can. Angela Reeves, she's my attorney, telecommunications law specialist, confirmed everything is completely legal. No conflicts. We followed every regulation. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. But speaking of contracts, I continue, we're auditing the HOA agreement. That $20,000 annual consulting fee you've been receiving, we're terminating it immediately. Turns out it violates FCC regulations regarding kickback schemes in monopolistic service agreements. The color drains from her face. You can't. I can, and I am. Also, we're dropping service rates for all Riverside Meadows residents by 35%. Effective December 1st. Market competitive pricing, fair business practices, revolutionary concepts. I know, she's trembling. Actually trembling, her hands shake holding her phone. I will bury you, I will find you every single day until you're living in a cardboard box on the street. I smile, her exact words, the threat I've been waiting for. See, that's the thing, Sandra. I've been documenting everything, every bogus fine, every harassment letter, every violation notice for things that aren't actually violations. Angela thinks we have a pretty solid case for targeted harassment, extortion, and abuse of HOA authority. I pull out my phone, show her the screen, spreadsheet, every fine, every letter, dates, amounts, photographic evidence. 11 other homeowners are ready to join a class action lawsuit. We've calculated combined damages at over $300,000. We're filing next week. Her face goes from red to white to purple. A vein pulses in her temple. You have no idea who you're dealing with. My husband, Richard Whitmore, owner of Whitmore Property Solutions. Yeah, we know all about him, about the 11 properties he bought at distressed prices. About the over $1 million you've made together running this little scheme. She steps back, actually steps back like I've physically pushed her. Those are legitimate business transactions. We'll let a judge decide that. Angela's pretty confident about the RICO statutes applying. Racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, those are serious federal charges, Sandra. For the first time since I've known her, Sandra Whitmore has nothing to say. Her mouth moves but no sound comes out. She's trying to calculate, trying to find an angle, a threat, a way to regain control. There isn't one. You're making a mistake, she finally whispers. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Neither do you. She turns, walks back to her car, not storming now, moving carefully, like someone who's just realized they're on unstable ground. She drives away slowly. No screeching tires this time. I close the door and lean against it. My heart is hammering, adrenaline flooding my system. Angela calls 30 seconds later. How'd it go? She threatened to bury me. I told her about the lawsuit. Good, let her panic. Panicked people make mistakes. What's next? We filed a class action on Monday. I've got 11 families ready to sign, but Jake, yeah, watch your back. Desperate people are dangerous people. The call ends. I look out my window. Sandra's house is lit up. I can see her pacing through the front window, phone to her ear, probably calling Richard. Their perfect system is collapsing. And we're just getting started. 3 days later, I get home from a grocery run, pull into my driveway. My front door is open. I didn't leave it open. My blood runs cold. I call 911 immediately, stay in my car. Doors locked, eyes on my open front door. 2 police cruisers arrive in 8 minutes. Officers clear the house room by room. All clear, sir, no one inside. But someone was. My office is destroyed. Papers scattered everywhere. Desk drawers dumped on the floor. My filing cabinet forced open, documents everywhere. My laptop is missing, the one with all my work files, client information, personal data, but everything's cloud-backed, password protected, encrypted. Still, violation, my home, my sanctuary, invaded. The officer taking the report is sympathetic but useless. No signs of forced entry, Mr. Morrison. You sure you locked the door when you left? I'm sure. Any enemies? Anyone with a grudge? I almost laugh. Where do I start? They dust for prints, find nothing useful, take photos, file a report that will go nowhere, they leave. I'm standing in my trashed office, hands shaking when my phone rings. Marcus, Jake, you need to see this. Sandra's husband just posted bail. He was arrested this morning for assault, bar fight, punched a guy who apparently made a comment about HOA corruption. He's losing control. They both are. Be careful. I hire a security company, cameras everywhere, motion sensors, floodlights. My house looks like a prison now, but I need to work, need to function. The next week is psychological warfare, every morning. A new violation letter in my mailbox. Day 1, front porch light bulb is non-compliant wattage, $200. Day 2, garden hose visible from street, $300. Day 3, window shutters need repainting, $1,000. Day 4, driveway has oil stain exceeding acceptable size parameters, $500. Day 5, chimney needs repointing, structural safety concern, mandatory repair, $7,000. Day 6, lawn ornament, a solar-powered walkway light violates decoration standards, $400. Day 7, front door hardware finish is non-compliant, $800. $15,000 in fines in 7 days. Angela files for an emergency injunction. We go before a judge, present the harassment evidence, the systematic targeting. Judge Robertson is an older man, stern. He reads through our documentation. Mrs. Whitmore, this appears to be retaliatory enforcement. Sandra's attorney, expensive suit, slicked back hair, responds smoothly. Your Honor, Mrs. Whitmore is simply fulfilling her duties as HOA president. If Mr. Morrison feels targeted, perhaps he should comply with the standards all residents follow. All residents receive $15,000 in fines over 7 days. All residents who violate 15 different codes, yes. The judge isn't buying it. But he's cautious. I'm granting a temporary restraining order against new fines pending full litigation. Mrs. Whitmore, you are not to issue any further violation notices to Mr. Morrison until this matter is resolved. Sandra's face goes rigid. But she nods. Outside the courthouse, she walks past me, stops, turns. This isn't over. I know. She drives away. I think I've won something, a temporary victory. I'm wrong. Thanksgiving week. Emma comes to visit. She's 12, sweet kid. Resilient despite the divorce. We're carving pumpkins on the front porch, late season decorating, but she loves it when Sandra's Lexus rolls by. Slowly, she stops. Window rolls down, our eyes meet. Then she looks at Emma, studies her. That smile appears. Cute daughter, Sandra says, her voice is pleasant, conversational. Would be a shame if Child Protective Services got an anonymous call about unsafe living conditions. Emma looks confused. Dad, Sandra drives away before I can respond. I'm frozen, not with fear, with pure rage. She just threatened my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter. I get Emma inside, call my ex-wife. Explain everything. She's terrified, furious. But she agrees. Emma stays with her until this is resolved. Emma cries when she leaves. Did I do something wrong? No, baby, adults are just being stupid, I'll fix it. I watch her drive away with her mother, then I call Angela. She threatened Emma. File for a restraining order, now, I do, emergency hearing, judge grants it. Sandra Whitmore must stay 500 feet away from me and my family. But it's not enough, I call Marcus. Remember that service contract, the acceptable use policy? He's quiet. Jake, don't. She threatened my daughter, Marcus, long silence. What do you need? The emergency HOA meeting is called for December 8th. Mandatory attendance. Community center. 7 p.m. I walk in knowing this is the real battlefield. The room is packed, 150 residents, maybe more, standing room only in the back. Sandra's at the podium, pink blazer perfect. Blonde bob styled, but her eyes look wild, desperate. She calls the meeting to order, her voice is tight, controlled. We're here to address malicious and unfounded accusations made by Mr. Morrison and several ungrateful residents who have apparently forgotten everything this HOA has done for them. She clicks through a PowerPoint presentation. Professional, polished, clearly prepared by someone expensive. Slides showing neighborhood property values up 12% over 5 years. Community improvements, new playground equipment, repaved streets. Safety statistics showing low crime rates. She's spinning the narrative hard, controlling the story. Mr. Morrison has weaponized his recent business acquisition to wage a personal vendetta against this board and against me specifically because he refuses to follow simple community standards that every other resident manages to follow without issue. Murmurs in the crowd. Some nodding, she's good at this. She's been doing this for years. His baseless lawsuit threatens the financial stability of our community. Legal fees will come from our HOA reserves, money that should go to maintaining our neighborhood. Money that benefits all of you. More murmurs, louder now. People are uncomfortable, shifting in their seats. She's making me the villain. Then it's my turn to speak. I stand. Angela's beside me. We don't use slides. Don't use presentations. I use stories. Sandra mentioned property values are up 12%. What she didn't mention is that the national average for suburbs like ours is up 19% over the same period. We're underperforming because people are afraid to buy here. They research online and see the horror stories. I look around the room, make eye contact. Mrs. Patterson's son lost his home. Bankrupted by $8,500 in fines over 6 months. Violations for parking his work truck in his own driveway. For having lawn ornaments, birthday decorations his daughter put up. For his mailbox being 3 inches too tall according to Sandra's interpretation of code. Mrs. Patterson is in the third row, she's crying quietly. The Garcia family, $12,000 in fines, foreclosed their crime. Running a home business, she did alterations and sewing, someone complained. Sandra fined them $300 a week until they couldn't pay their mortgage. I pull out documentation. Angela distributes packets, financial records. Property transaction histories, timelines. The Hendersons lost their home over $8,000 in accumulated fines. He was a plumber. Sandra decided his work truck was commercial and violated parking standards, even though half the neighborhood has similar vehicles. The crowd is shifting now, uncomfortable murmurs turning to angry whispers. And here's the interesting part. Every single one of those homes was purchased by Whitmore Property Solutions. Richard Whitmore's LLC, Sandra's husband. I project documents on the screen, property records, purchase prices, flip profits. 11 homes bought at 40% below market value, renovated, flipped, average profit. $90,000 per house, total profit over $1 million. The room erupts, people shouting, standing, Sandra's pounding her gavel but nobody's listening. This is slander. I will sue every single person in this room who, Angela steps forward. Her voice cuts through the chaos. Actually, Mrs. Whitmore, truth is an absolute defense to defamation. Everything we're presenting is documented, verified, and backed by public records. You're welcome to sue, we'd love the discovery process. The room goes quiet, Sandra's face is purple, veins visible in her neck. She's gripping the podium so hard her knuckles are white. Then Gerald Thompson stands, he's been on the HOA board for 8 years, older man, retired accountant. I resign, effective immediately. I didn't sign up for this. He walks out. Patricia Holly stands next, another board member, me too. Sandra, this has gone too far. She follows Gerald out the door. Sandra's alone at the podium now, isolated, exposed. The back doors slam open. Richard Whitmore storms in. Expensive suit, silver hair, face red with rage. He points at me across the room. You're making a big mistake, Morrison. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I will destroy you. I will. Angela steps into the aisle, holds up papers. Richard Whitmore, you're served. She walks toward him, hands him the documents. Lawsuit for conspiracy to commit fraud, racketeering under RICO statutes, conversion of homeowner assets through predatory HOA enforcement, and about 15 other charges. We'll see you in court. His face drains of color. actually drains. He looks at the papers, looks at Sandra, looks at me. People are recording on phones now. This is going viral in real time on neighborhood Facebook groups. Richard turns and walks out. Fast, Sandra is standing alone at the podium. The room is silent except for the click of phone cameras. She grabs the microphone, her voice is shaking. Fine, you want war. I will make every single day of your lives miserable. Sandra is screaming into the microphone, mascara running, blonde bob disheveled, pink blazer wrinkled from her white-knuckle grip on the podium. I still control this HOA. I am still president and I will enforce every single rule. You'll regret this, all of you. She's spiraling, losing control in front of everyone. An elderly man in the back row stands. Slowly, he starts clapping. One person. Slow, deliberate claps. Then another person stands, joins him, then another. Within 30 seconds, half the room is standing, applauding, not for Sandra, for the end of her reign. She looks around wildly, grabs her papers. Storms toward the exit, people step aside, nobody stops her. The door slams behind her, the room explodes with conversation. People surrounding me, shaking my hand, thanking me. Mrs. Patterson hugs me, she's still crying. My son can finally have closure, thank you. Angela's already working the room. Getting statements, contact information, building the case. I feel relieved, victorious even, but something's nagging at me. Sandra wouldn't go down this easily. I drive home, pull into my driveway at 9:45 p.m. My front door is ajar, not wide open, just ajar 6 inches. I didn't leave it that way. My security system should have alerted me. I check my phone, nothing. I call 911 again, stay in my car again, officers arrive, clear the house again. Sir, your security system was disabled. Someone cut the power line to the main panel, knew exactly what they were doing. My office is ransacked again. Worse this time, computer equipment smashed, files scattered. But this time there's a message, written on my desk in permanent marker, leave. Simple, direct, threatening. The police take photos, file another report. Tell me to consider staying somewhere else for a few days. I refuse. This is my house. I won't be driven out. But I don't sleep that night. I sit in my living room with every light on. Baseball bat across my lap. The next morning I'm exhausted, paranoid, jumping at every sound. Then the real psychological warfare begins. Every morning for the next week I find something new. Day 1, my mailbox smashed, completely destroyed, metal bent. Post knocked over. Day 2, my car keyed both sides, deep scratches through the paint, $4,000 in damage. Day 3, my garbage cans dumped in my driveway, trash everywhere. Day 4, dog feces smeared on my front door handle. Day 5, my garden completely destroyed, plants ripped out. Soil scattered across the lawn. I report everything, file police reports, install more cameras. But the cameras mysteriously malfunction during the exact time windows when the vandalism occurs. Wi-Fi interference. Convenient. Anonymous letters start arriving. No return address. Threatening messages. Leave Riverside Meadows or it gets worse. You made a big mistake. Time to pay. Watch your back. Accidents happen. My neighbors are divided now. Some avoid eye contact. Others quietly, privately tell me they're praying I win. One neighbor, a middle-aged woman named Carol, pulls me aside. My Ring camera caught something 3 nights ago. A car, dark sedan, no plates visible, drove by your house twice between 2 and 3 a.m. Slowed down both times. Did you see who was driving? Too dark, but Jake, be careful, these people are dangerous. I'm sleeping 3 hours a night, losing weight, constantly looking over my shoulder. My ex-wife calls. Emma's asking about you. She says you sound different on the phone. I'm fine. You're not fine. End this before something terrible happens. I can't end it, not now, but Angela's building the case. 11 homeowners signed on to the class action lawsuit. Combined damages, $317,000. We're also pursuing the criminal case. RICO charges, fraud, conspiracy. Federal prosecutors are interested. Very interested. Sandra gets the lawsuit notice on a Friday afternoon. Certified mail. Signature required. I'm watching from my window when the postal carrier delivers it. I see her open the envelope, see her face change. By Monday morning, the HOA calls another emergency meeting. This time, the agenda is simple: discussion of HOA leadership transition. The tide is turning. But when I arrive at the community center Monday night, Sandra's already there. Pink blazer, blonde bob, but something's different. She looks defeated, broken. She's sitting in the front row, not at the podium, not in control. A new interim board has been elected, 3 residents I don't know well, fair people, reasonable people. They call the meeting to order. We're here to discuss the future of Riverside Meadows HOA. Recent events have made it clear that restructuring is necessary. Sandra stands. Her voice is quiet now, no microphone. I resign as president, effective immediately. The room is silent. But I want immunity. For myself and my husband, drop the lawsuit, drop the criminal charges, and I walk away. Angela stands. Not how this works, Mrs. Whitmore. Sandra looks at me directly. First time in weeks we've made eye contact, please. I'm asking, what do you want from me? Sandra Whitmore is asking me for mercy. The woman who cut my internet cable, who cost me $50,000, who threatened my daughter. She's standing in the middle of the community center, and for the first time since I've known her, she looks small. But I'm not the one who decides anymore. This is bigger than me now. Angela speaks first. Mrs. Whitmore, you're facing federal RICO charges. 11 families have joined our lawsuit. The prosecutors aren't interested in immunity deals. Sandra's hands shake. She sits down heavily. The interim board takes over. They outline the new structure. Elected positions, term limits, no more president for life. Transparent finances, independent audits, everything Sandra's reign wasn't. The meeting ends, people file out. Sandra sits alone in the front row. Richard's not here, he's probably meeting with his own lawyers. I should feel victorious. But I just feel tired. Days pass. The legal machinery grinds forward. Depositions, discovery, document requests. Sandra tries to fight. Her lawyers file motions to dismiss. All denied, then something breaks. December 20th. Angela calls. Sandra and Richard just offered a settlement, full resignation, restitution payments to all affected families. Total of $85,000 split between the 11 plaintiffs. They drop all counterclaims. They agree to never serve in HOA leadership again. What about the criminal charges? Federal prosecutors are still pursuing those, but the civil case, we can end it. I think about Mrs. Patterson, about the Garcia family. About everyone who suffered. What do the other families want? They want closure, they want their money back, they want to move on. Then we settle. The paperwork takes 2 weeks. By January 5th, it's done. Sandra and Richard Whitmore resign. Permanently. They agree to the restitution payments. $85,000 distributed to the affected families, not enough to make them whole, but something. The federal case continues. Fraud charges, conspiracy. The prosecutors believe they can get convictions, but that's not my fight anymore. On January 15th, a for sale sign appears in front of Sandra's house. Big, unavoidable. Real estate agent's smiling face on it. I'm standing at my window when I see her loading boxes into her Lexus. No pink blazer today, jeans, sweater, hair in a ponytail. She looks like a normal person. Almost. She glances at my house once. Our eyes don't meet. She gets in her car and drives away. I never see her again. The house sells in 3 weeks. Cash offer, full asking price. I find out later who bought it, Mrs. Patterson. She used her restitution money and her savings. When I ask her why, she smiles. Because now when I look across the street, I'll see where evil used to live, and I'll remember that good people can still win. She moves in February 1st. Plants flowers in the front garden. The pink curtains come down, yellow ones go up. The neighborhood starts healing. The new HOA board implements the reforms. Fair enforcement, reasonable fines only for genuine violations. Transparent budgets, no more predatory schemes, no more targeted harassment. Property values start climbing, 14% in 6 months, above national average now. Families move in. Kids play in the streets. The neighborhood feels alive again. Broadlink Riverside is thriving too. We expanded service to 3 adjacent communities. Lower prices across the board. Customer satisfaction hits 96%. We're profitable and ethical. Turns out you can be both. I started a consulting business, helping homeowners fight predatory HOAs, pro bono for families who can't afford lawyers. Angela partners with me. We've won 8 cases in 6 months. Shut down 2 corrupt boards, help dozens of families. The word spreads. I get emails weekly. People trapped in HOA nightmares, desperate for help. I help everyone I can. Emma visits every other weekend now. She loves the neighborhood. Made friends, feels safe here. That's what matters most. One afternoon in late March, I get an email. Subject line, HOA hell in Tennessee. A woman named Rebecca Walsh. Her HOA president is bankrupting families through predatory fines. Systematic harassment. The same playbook Sandra used. She found my story online, news articles, YouTube videos people made about the case. She's asking for help, desperate, crying through the phone when I call her. I forward her information to Angela, then I start researching. Tennessee HOA laws, property records, service contracts, because this is what I do now. This is my purpose. Sandra Whitmore tried to destroy me. Instead, she created something bigger. A network, a movement, people fighting back against corrupt systems, and we're winning. I haven't told you about the internet yet. About what I did to Sandra before she left. Let me back up to December 1st. Right after the public meeting, before the settlement, when Sandra was still fighting, I called Marcus. Late at night, my hands were shaking. I need you to pull Sandra Whitmore's service contract. Jake, just pull it please. He sends it. I read every word, every clause, every subsection there. Section 12. Subsection D. Provider reserves the right to throttle or limit bandwidth for customers engaged in harassment, illegal activity, or violations of acceptable use policy, including but not limited to Threatening communications, cyberbullying, coordination of harassment campaigns, or misuse of service for unlawful purposes. Sandra's been using her internet connection for everything, sending threatening emails, coordinating HOA violation campaigns, documenting residents with surveillance footage uploaded to cloud storage. We have server logs, digital evidence, timestamps, every threatening email, every harassment campaign, all traceable to her IP address. She violated the acceptable use policy. Repeatedly, systematically, I call Marcus back. We're implementing network optimization protocols for her address. Long silence. How much throttling are we talking about? 56 kilobits per second. Jake, that's dial-up speed, that's 1999. I know, she'll lose her mind. I know, December 1st, 8 a.m., we implement the throttle. Sandra doesn't notice immediately, she's probably sleeping, planning her next attack, then she tries to check email. The page loads slowly, very slowly. She probably thinks it's a temporary glitch. By 10 a.m., she's trying to join a Zoom meeting with her lawyers. The HOA Emergency Response Strategy session, her video freezes, buffers, her face pixelated and stuttering on screen. Sandra, you're breaking up, her attorney says. I don't understand, my internet is, the connection drops. She tries to reconnect, takes 4 minutes to load the Zoom interface, connection fails. She calls Broadlink customer service. Gets transferred, holds for 8 minutes, finally reaches a representative. Yes, ma'am, I'm showing your account is experiencing reduced speeds due to network management policies. What? Why? Fix it immediately. It appears your service is flagged for acceptable use policy violations. Would you like me to email you the relevant contract sections? I want to speak to your supervisor, right now, transfer hold. Another 8 minutes. This is David Reese, Regional Operations Supervisor. How can I help you, David? One of my investors, he volunteered for this. My internet is barely working, this is unacceptable. I pay for 500 megabits per second. Yes, ma'am, your service has been throttled to 56 kilobits per second due to violations of our acceptable use policy. What violations? I'm not at liberty to discuss specifics, but our logs show consistent patterns of using our service for harassment and threatening communications. This violates Section 12, subsection D of your service agreement. This is ridiculous. I demand you restore my service immediately. I can transfer you to our legal compliance department. But ma'am, the throttling will remain in place until the violations cease and a compliance review is completed. I want to speak to the owner. That would be Jake Morrison, ma'am. Would you like his direct number? Silence on the line. Then, you can't do this. Actually, ma'am, we can. It's in the contract you signed 3 years ago, the same contract that gave you monopoly enforcement rights, the same contract that paid you $20,000 annually. You agreed to all terms including the acceptable use policy. The call disconnects. 30 minutes later, Sandra's Lexus screeches into my driveway. No dramatic entrance this time, she walks slowly, deliberately. Pink blazer rumpled, blonde bob less perfect than usual, she looks exhausted. She knocks on my door, civilized, controlled, I open it. Sandra, fix my internet, her voice is hoarse. Raw, I can't. You violated the terms of service, it's in your contract. What contract? I hand her a printed copy, highlighted sections, yellow marker showing exactly where she agreed to these terms. Her hands shake holding the papers, she reads. Her face goes from red to white. You can't do this. I can, and unless you resign from the HOA board, drop all pending fines against me and the other 11 families, and agree to restructure the predatory enforcement policies, your internet stays at 56 kilobits per second. For how long? Forever. She stares at me. I can see the calculation in her eyes, pride versus practicality, power versus necessity. In 2024, no internet means no life, no work, no communication, no control. I want it in writing. Angela will draft it today. She leaves without another word. 3 days later, she signs the agreement, resigns, drops the fines, agrees to everything. We restore her internet December 15th. 2 weeks later, she moves out. It's been a year since Sandra Whitmore left Riverside Meadows. 12 months since I bought an internet company to fight back against an HOA tyrant. My life is completely different now. Better in ways I never expected. Emma visits every other weekend. She's 13 now, growing up fast. She made friends in the neighborhood, feels safe here. Comfortable. Last weekend, she asked me about the whole Sandra situation. Dad, was it worth it? All that money, all that stress? I thought about it for a long moment. Yeah, baby, it was, because sometimes you have to stand up to bullies even when it's scary and expensive and feels impossible. She hugged me. I'm proud of you. Those 4 words made everything worth it. Broadlink Riverside expanded to 6 communities now, 18,000 customers. We've become the model for ethical ISP operations. Lower prices, better service. Transparent billing, no monopolistic contracts. We're profitable, very profitable. Turns out treating customers like humans instead of revenue streams actually works. Marcus is Chief Operations Officer now. David, Jennifer, and Thomas all sit on our board. We're planning expansion into 12 more underserved communities next year. The HOA transformation is complete. New bylaws, elected board with term limits. Transparent finances, independent audits, no more predatory enforcement, no more targeting families, no more corruption. Property values in Riverside Meadows rose 14% in the first 6 months. Another 8% since then. We're now 22% above purchase prices, above national average, above regional average, because people want to live in communities where they're treated fairly. Revolutionary concept. I get emails constantly now, sometimes 10 a day, people trapped in HOA nightmares across the country. Some stories are worse than mine, much worse. A family in Arizona lost their home over a pink flamingo lawn ornament. $19,000 in accumulated fines. A veteran in Texas was fined daily for parking his wheelchair-accessible van in his own driveway. The HOA said it was commercial-looking. An elderly woman in Florida was bankrupted because her garden violated aesthetic harmony standards. I help everyone I can. Angela and I built a nonprofit, Fair Housing Alliance. We take on cases pro bono for families who can't afford legal fees. We've won 14 cases this year, shut down 5 corrupt HOA boards, helped 47 families get restitution. It's not enough. There are thousands more, but it's something. Mrs. Patterson lives across the street now in Sandra's old house. She painted it cheerful yellow, plants flowers every season. Waves at me every morning. She's 82 years old, still sharp, still grateful. You gave my son justice, she told me last month. That's worth more than any amount of money. Her son visits regularly now. He brings his kids. They play in the yard where Sandra used to plot destruction. There's poetry in that. Sandra and Richard Whitmore are in Florida. I heard Richard's facing fraud charges unrelated to our case. Multiple victims. Pattern of predatory behavior spanning years. Federal prosecutors believe they can get convictions. I hope they do. Sandra's completely off social media now. No presence online, no HOA involvement anywhere. Maybe she learned something, probably not. People like that rarely do. But she can't hurt anyone in Riverside Meadows anymore. That's what matters. This morning I got an email that made me sit back and stare at my screen. Subject. Thank you, from a woman named Jennifer Garcia, the Garcia family, one of the 11 families Sandra bankrupted. They lost their home, their savings, nearly lost their marriage. Mr. Morrison, I don't know if you remember us. You probably helped so many people, but our family was destroyed by Sandra Whitmore. We lost everything. When you fought back, when you won, you gave us hope again. The restitution money helped us get back on our feet. We bought a new house. My daughter graduated high school this year. She wrote her college essay about resilience and justice. She quoted you, "I just wanted to say thank you. You changed our lives." I read it 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and cried. Not sad tears, relief, gratitude, purpose, because this is why I fought, not for revenge, for this, for families like the Garcias, for justice. I walked to my front window. Look out at Riverside Meadows. Kids playing basketball in the street, families walking dogs, normal, beautiful, messy life, no fear, no predatory enforcement, no corruption, just people living their lives. This is what I fought for. And I'd do it all again. I'm sitting in my office. Same office Sandra's people ransacked twice, same desk where I planned everything, but it looks different now. Framed news articles on the wall. Software developer defeats predatory HOA. Community-first internet model succeeds against corporate monopolies. My phone buzzes, another email, another person asking for help. This one's from Tennessee, Rebecca Walsh. I've been consulting with her for 3 weeks now. Subject, we won. I open it immediately. Jake, I can't believe it. The HOA president resigned today. The board voted to restructure. They're dropping all our fines, all of them. 32 families are getting restitution. You saved us. You actually saved us. I forward it to Angela. She responds in seconds. Another one bites the dust. Proud of you. I'm proud too, but also exhausted. This work is hard. Every case takes months. Every family has trauma that doesn't heal quickly. But it matters. God, it matters. Emma's coming this weekend. She asked if she could bring 2 friends. They want to see the house where Dad fought the bad guys. I laughed when she asked. It's just a regular house, sweetie. No, it's not, Dad. It's where you proved good people can win. Out of the mouths of 13-year-olds. I'm planning to take them to Mrs. Patterson's house. Let her tell the story from her perspective. Let them hear what courage looks like from someone who lost everything and still kept hope alive. That's the legacy I want, not revenge. Not victory, hope, proof that ordinary people can fight back against corrupt systems and win, legally, ethically, completely. My phone rings, unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something tells me to pick up. Hello, Mr. Morrison. My name is David Park. I'm a state representative in Ohio. I've been following your case. We're drafting legislation to reform HOA oversight in our state. Would you be willing to testify before the Housing Committee? My heart races. Testify about what? About predatory enforcement, about how HOAs operate without oversight, about how families like yours get destroyed by corrupt boards. Your story could change laws, protect thousands of families. I'm quiet for a moment, thinking about Sandra, about the 11 families, about Rebecca Walsh in Tennessee, about the Garcias. Yes, I'll testify. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. This matters more than you know. The call ends. I'm staring at my phone. This is bigger than me now, bigger than Riverside Meadows, bigger than one corrupt HOA president. This is about systemic change, about protecting people who can't protect themselves. I walk to my window, look across the street at Mrs. Patterson's yellow house. She's outside planting tulips. 82 years old and still fighting for beauty, still choosing hope. I think about Sandra, wonder if she ever thinks about what she lost, not the house or the money or the power, but her humanity, her integrity. Her chance to be remembered as something other than a tyrant. Probably not. People like that rarely have that kind of self-awareness. But I think about it. I think about how easy it would have been to become like her. To let rage consume me. To seek destruction instead of justice. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I fought legally. Ethically, with principles intact, because Emma's watching. Learning, understanding what it means to stand up for what's right. That's the real victory. My email buzzes again. Another person asking for help. Another family trapped in an HOA nightmare. I open it, start reading, start planning, because this is what I do now. This is my purpose. Sandra Whitmore tried to destroy me. Cost me $50,000, made my life hell for months. Instead, she gave me something far more valuable, a mission. A calling, a reason to fight. I help families escape HOA tyranny. I consult with legislators on reform. I build ethical business models that prove you can be profitable and principled. And I'm just getting started. The story could end here. Nice resolution, happy ending, lessons learned. But it doesn't end here. This is just the beginning, because there are thousands of Sandra Whitmores out there, thousands of families suffering, thousands of corrupt systems that need dismantling, and now there's a network of people fighting back, winning, building something better. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt powerless against corrupt authority, if you've ever wanted to fight back but didn't know how, if you believe good people can still win, I need to hear from you. Drop a comment telling me your story, where you're from, whether you've dealt with HOA nightmares or other corrupt systems, what you learned from this, how you fought back or wish you could. Your comments matter, they build community. They show others they're not alone. They create momentum for change. And if you know someone trapped in an HOA nightmare right now, share this story with them. Let them know fighting back is possible. Legal revenge exists. Justice can win. This isn't just my story anymore. It's ours. Every person who refuses to be a victim, every family who stands up to corruption, every community that demands better. Together, we're building something bigger than any one case. We're building a movement, and Sandra Whitmore, she's just the first domino that fell.